Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom. And yes, we try to pretend this is a slice of normal, but it's not. Okay, good evening, everyone. We've gotten together to sit here and have a little talk about one of the latest Big Finish box sets, The Diary of River Song Series 1. Let's get hey there, hi there, ho there's from everyone. Let's start with AJ.
Hello.
Phillip.
Hello, sweetie.
William.
Hey now, evening everybody.
Graham.
I'm unmuting yourself, Baldy.
Yeah, you might want to unmute yourself first. You're talking to...
Who the hell have muted me? Bertie Potts is a drinking buddy of mine, and he's an asshole. Thank you.
And Texas Tim.
Hello.
Okay, so a rather interesting assortment of tales. We start off in a tomb in ancient Egypt. We wind up in a spaceship that seems to be having a never-ending party. And then next thing you know, we're whisked all the way back to the dawn of time with, one of the first races, the Suki Muki or whatever their names were. Okay, let's get first thought impressions from everyone. First thoughts, opening thoughts. Let's start with Texas Tim.
I thought it was a good set. I guess it really depends on if you like River Song or not, because a lot of people I don't think like her, but that's neither here nor there. I think it's a good set, but I think it kind of suffers from some of the episodes being a little bit too long. I think that because when you're going to tell one story in 4 parts, which is what this pretty much is, I think that and I noticed this with the Benny set with Sutek from last year, that it seemed to have the same kind of problem, but I haven't noticed this with the Eighth Doctor box sets. All those are really, really good. So I think it's just something. It seems to me like they plan it as this is our box set, and then they write the stories, and it seems like they might try to be a little more, or I don't know, work at it from a different angle or something. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that they're at least the first story drags a little bit towards the end, and the third one does a little bit as well. I like the second one probably not the best, but I like the second one, and the fourth one. The fourth one was actually just an episode of Doctor Who. She was more of a guest star in that one, it seemed like, because the Eighth Doctor actually saves the day and does all the heavy lifting by the end of the episode. She helps him, but they can't meet. So it's just, but overall in general, I was pretty impressed with it. I think it's really great that Big Finish has got the license to do these things with the new series characters, and I for the most part I enjoyed it.
Okay, Graham.
I probably agree with Tim there on the overall aspect there. It was a good set to kick off Alex Kingston's tenure in Big Finish. Was every story 10 out of 10 bing bang boom wallop perfect? Probably no. Like Tim said, you've got 4 stories here telling the one story. First one, okay, you've got the archaeological aspect in Egypt. Second one, you've got a whodunit mystery on the space boat. The third one interests me because you've essentially got River Song's version of the Hellbent, whereby the clone keeps dying, and albeit you get an imposter doctor, it was a unique tale. And then you get the fourth one with McGann, who guest stars, and it's wrapped up in a nice neat bow. So is it the best thing I've ever heard? No, but at the same time, it's a good introduction to a new character into the realm of the Big Finish. Not bad at all.
Okay, William.
When the announcement was made last year about River Song coming to Big Finish, I was like, how much of this is going to be able to do? Because of course, last Christmas she appeared in the episode, so we had to figure out like when does this story takes place, considering the Christmas story almost gave her a final appearance. But it was I like this. It's not a bad box set. I really liked it very much, and whether they're going to announce a second one, we wait and find out. But like what Graham said, you have 4, you can almost say 4 individual stories that are connected together. Even though the last one is with the Eighth Doctor, they don't meet because they can't. But that's nothing to deal about. The funny thing is that we find out that re-listening to it or listening to the behind the stage that she actually uses both a sonic trowel and her screwdriver So, but right there, you know that this takes place after the Christmas episode, because that's when the 12th Doctor gave him the sonic screwdriver. So that, you know, I don't say exactly right after the Christmas story, but that's no hit and did on that. But I gotta give it props, because I have heard some Big Finish stories that really really ain't worth your money. So I gotta give this one props that it did a nice 4-part story that interconnected. So I gotta give him props for that.
Okay, AJ.
I like the story overall. Like they said, that story 1 and 3 dragged a little, just a tiny bit. They weren't that long. I think they were a pretty good size for what they were. The overall box set was just brilliant. I agree with William about the niggle about the sonic screwdriver and the trail. I think it was just a scripting error personally. Other than that, she did an awesome job.
All right, Phillip.
Initially, I wasn't too sure about this box set, but once I listened to it and got into it, I reckon this is a good deal. For me, on audio, I find River Song a lot more pleasable on audio. And my favourite stories of a box set is 1 and 4. Although some of you guys say that number 1 drags a bit, I didn't feel that. I thought it was a proper like Doctor Who type story. It had a beginning and a middle and an end, and then obviously the Paul McGann number 4 story that was nicely done. And the fact that she can't meet that particular incarnation, you know, it's a bit of a shame, because I would like them to interact, and him going, "Oh, so you're my wife," and it's like, well, how did that happen? That kind of thing. So it's a nice thing. The box set overall is good for a first outing, and I do wish I hope they do another one, basically. So yeah, it's cool.
Well, we know what they're going to be in Doom Coalition 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, she's gonna.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
And that should be coming up. When's it going to be due to release?
March.
Okay, so that's not too far away. Yeah, so okay, yeah, I kind of agree. To me, the one that kind of dragged a bit was the third one, which I think was Signs. It was
that's the title.
And yeah, it just, you know, if it weren't for the fact that it talks about the quote-unquote doodle bugs that wipe out an entire planet or whatnot, I don't know. It just it was like the Jacob's Ladder story of it to me. Once you get to the end, it's like, oh, okay, you know, no biggie. Yeah, it turns out, you know, this is going on, and it was just her clones. You know, meanwhile, you got this guy pretending to be the Doctor in his big super spaceship, the Sarah Jane. You know, that one was the one that kind of drug it for me. You know, I enjoyed all the others. But yeah, that one was the one that kind of was like, you know, the sore thumb in the group to me. Yeah, sonic trowel, sonic screwdriver. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if that wasn't a bit of an error, because, you know, unless maybe, you know, you never know with River Song, because that woman's bouncing around the time continuum like a freaking ping pong ball on meth. You know, you never know she's going to land. You know, she's like the ultimate roulette ball in the game of the universe. Oh, God, did I just get metaphorical? Oh, well.
Well, the thing is, she could have picked it up. I mean, she, like you just said, she's wildly out of order. And like AJ just held up the, you know, what do you call it? That's how she travels, the vortex manipulator. And it's probably just as unreliable as a TARDIS is sometimes. So she could have already had the screwdriver by the time she went to the party. You never know.
Quick and nasty time travel.
Or maybe the trowel is just an attachment, you know.
Yeah, I think the trowel is part of the archaeological equipment in that day and age that she's from. So that's not a real biggie.
But you got to get it. That first, even though that first story dragged, the creature.
How did it drag?
No, in the beginning, but when that creature wanted water so badly, and River made that guy cry.
Yeah.
I mean that was a little bit scary. I said, Jesus.
I mean, to be fair, you didn't exactly see her, even in the Christmas episode, toss his throw and go, oh, screw this. You know, so.
Yeah, Bertie. Yeah, little Bertie who appears in all these stories, yeah.
Bertie Potts, yes.
Yeah. He was a twit.
But he's a clever twit, though. Clever twit.
No, he was a stupid one. He thought he could control both River Song and the Doctor. How stupid is he?
Yes, but the point is that's just what makes him good, because he thinks he can. He has that kind of like, I'm me and I can do this.
Yeah, he read her diary as well, so he knows all about her. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about the cheater's guide to the universe. It's like,
But I think part of the reason, like you guys said, that maybe the third episode drags a bit is because you know from the outset it's an imposter, and she doesn't. And so you're kind of waiting for the penny to drop. And when it takes that long to get there, then you see what I mean? Like it could have been, if they'd done this slightly differently as a regular 2-disc release with 4 episodes, like that, then maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying it dragged completely. I'm not saying it didn't work. Actually, it's a nice box set. It's a good set. But I mean, I do think that sometimes they focus on, okay, our marketing department has this box set. This is what we're doing for this, and all that. And then it's like, sometimes you don't need that much time to tell a story.
Yeah. As clever as the Eighth Doctor is, I was a bit surprised that he didn't piece together the fact that Riversong is someone that he might have traveled with him.
No, because you got to realize that in the beginning of that final story, when he appears, the time war is already starting, and he's not getting involved with it. He's helping where he can. So this is the Eighth Doctor before that Night of the Doctor episode when he doesn't want to get involved with the time war, but the time war's already started, and that's how come those people that think they're rulers of the universe want to be on the winning side of the team, so to speak.
Yeah. I also find it funny that the rulers of the universe think they could sell weapons to the Time Lords. Like, the Time Lords who've got their own weapons that are immensely powerful, and yet these guys are stupid enough to think they could sell something to them.
There you go.
Plus, I love the way they interwove the Time War into this story. Without overwhelming the original story. You get mentions of it here and there. And I also love the way, she goes on about how he's the young idealistic one who basically has no idea what's coming. And then, of course, that little sum up where she goes, what would I tell you? Would I tell you, to be the person that you're supposed to be? Because at the same time, by not being the person you are, that's how she ends up meeting him in the future, is after he's become the War Doctor and whatnot. Blah, blah, blah. It would disrupt the timeline, by not going through that.
What I don't get, though, is how these mortal people, like Bertie or his people or the other people, even know about the Time War, because at the end of the day, it's the Daleks and the Time Lords fighting each other throughout time and space. And in other words, to a third or fourth party, they're not going to be able to comprehend that, would they? Because it's just something that happened.
But that war is rippling out throughout the universe. So look how Cinder's world knew about the Time War, and other people in the War Doctors that they knew about the Time War. So it's kind of rippled out through time that people know that the war.
But Philip, remember the War Doctor that takes place more years after this story. So that means that like how like Tim was saying, how did this and AJ how did these mortals are going to be aware of the Time War? Unless it happened around them, they're not going to know it.
But that's what I'm saying. The Time War is a time war, so it will spread out throughout segments of time, maybe backwards and forwards and sideways and God knows however else.
Okay, hang on. AJ's got his hand up here. Go ahead, AJ.
I was going to say, they mentioned it, I think it was in another audio or in the TV series, that it also affected the lowest species and the highest species of the universe.
Well, my point is it's going to affect them, but it's got to be something they can't comprehend, because these guys are battling throughout time as well as space, so it's instant. I mean, it's like, in other words, you see something somewhere, but you don't even know what that is, because it's those guys fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a question. Maybe if they might follow it up in the next box set, whenever we get to know when it's coming out.
I just would have thought it was self-explanatory that lower races and higher races would know of the war existing, whether they don't comprehend it or not.
Well, this species only care about is making money and controlling things, because you look at the in the ship that has a party that's been going on for whenever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, anybody that could, you could say, teleport like that is not going to be able to get in, because they had that blocking thing.
Yeah.
That's how much technology they already have.
Exactly.
So they want to get involved because they want to get their hands on more technology and sell it to other races and stuff like that.
Yeah, the suppression field. Yeah, you can tell these guys have got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies, especially when they can beam. Well, it's an old saying. I mean, when they can beam an invitation into the Doctor's TARDIS. Now,
Yeah.
that's not something, just about anybody can do easily.
And he got the wrong one.
Huh?
Yeah.
He got the wrong one. He didn't want. He didn't.
Then he want him. Then he want him. The one I think
Yeah.
one of the earlier ones.
Yeah. He was chronologically displaced, yes. Or the invitation was, I mean.
I also find it funny in the third episode, the clones from Riversong, they reminded me of the Flesh a little from season 6 of Doctor Who. Season 6 or season 5. Either
Oh,
one.
the Flesh.
Yeah, the Flesh.
They're also people and all that.
Maybe
Yeah.
they use that technology to make her.
Almost people, yeah.
No, I'm just saying it reminded me because how they sort of just melted down at nothingness.
Yeah.
As I said, maybe that money grabbing bunch of people found out about it and is using it.
Yeah. I was just saying that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, ganger tech. Ugh.
What's weird is that in the second story, the one with the party, that's when she meets a lady that had that funny name that she used it in the last story.
Spritzer, Miss Spritz.
Yeah, Miss Spritz.
Spritz,
She meets a Miss Spritz, and she uses it in the last story. Well, but she don't mention her name to the doctor.
She does the same thing that lady was doing, though. She wears the costume and goes about, and then keeps on using her manipulator to make more of herself show up at the same time. That's really clever too.
To plant the bombs in it and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love that when she winds up in that escape pod and then she looks around. There's all those. What are all these droids doing in here? That was classic. That was just absolutely classic. I love the way she used the, let's say, timey whammy on him, man. She just knocked him out. Like 200 and something bombs by doing 200 and something time trips. That was just devious as hell.
Yeah.
Is this one of her times when she's escaping the storm cage and going around doing her business and jumping back into it again after she's done what she's doing?
I think this is before, because remember, they did mention in the first story that this was during the time she was still kind of studying. So that's when she was there on Earth. Yeah, I think if I remember right, what was the year they discovered Tutankhamun? I think it was 28, wasn't it?
No, it was earlier than that.
Which one was it?
3 or 24, I think.
Yeah, so we know that first story took place, chronologically. I thought it was an interesting period for them to set it in.
Well, she had to put up all that sexism, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what was weird of that? Even though Mr. Song was using multiple clones, every time one died, for a new one could come out, the original River Song maintained the memory of what happened. That's
a good point.
I said, wow. I never knew that could happen. So how? I don't know. I probably didn't hear it on well. That how was she able to do that? That she retained their memories to her.
Oh, you're right. It was 22, by the way. 1922, they discovered Todd. Okay.
She's not exactly human, Will. She's more of she's a bit of a half and half because she was conceived in the TARDIS, remember? So she's a bit of a Time Lord in a way. Even though that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I mean that's why she's not quite 100% human.
Maybe she was hooked into a machine though, and the machine was constantly having a print of her. And instead of the memories just dying with the clones, maybe it was feeding back into her by accident.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was.
And in the machine she was in, wasn't he making her think that she was dying the whole time, that she was mortally wounded when she wasn't?
Yeah.
She wasn't. He was just lying to her the whole time.
It was interesting she mentioned the fact that she no longer has regenerations when she said she used to be able to have different faces and now she doesn't.
Well, she gave him to the doctor, remember? And
But there's a nice little callback that she made there.
Yeah, Angels Rate Manhattan. Yeah.
She thinks in the story she thought.
No, it was like Skill Hitler.
Yeah, that was also there.
Yeah, that he could regenerate more than his normal amount of time because that's what she thought in the story, that he could regenerate like 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah.
But you don't find out that he reached the limit to Christmas.
Which kind of rubs that in the face. If he's reached the limits of his regeneration by the time he's Matt Smith, even if he's Matt Smith, that means that whatever she gave him didn't give him regenerations.
No, it just healed him. That's all.
It wasn't meant to give him regenerations, Phil. It was just meant to kickstart whatever life he had left.
Yeah, but that's what screws in my head, because the amount of energy she gave him just to lose all her lives would mean that he had more than just a healing property given to him. He had regeneration because she lost all of that.
It's no different from a guy drinking the elixir and kick-starting his life again.
That's right.
I don't buy that. I mean, if it was just a little
tough
bit of
freaking shit.
Take it up with the BBC.
I will do, because that's a bit of a plot hole there, really.
I don't think it is.
A plot hole. Oh dear! How dare they have a plot hole in Doctor Who? Oh dear.
What about,
yeah, go on.
I was going to say, what about when Tennant was shot and he used the regeneration to heal his body and then put the rest of the energy into his
That's what I'm saying, though. He had somewhere to get rid of the excess. She just poured all of her remaining lives into Matt Smith's body, and he still was on his last body and couldn't regenerate.
Yeah. The thing is, his cells were breaking down and dying. Regeneration was not possible. So what the cells did, they absorbed the energy and healed him.
Yeah, because remember, the TARDIS even told him in that adventure that he had been poisoned by a particular thing from a certain tree. Therefore, regeneration was disabled.
I think it was a Janus tree or Janus the one that says.
But the thing that gets me, though, is, if he was supposed to be on his last regeneration then. But that's a whole thing dealing with the show. We're talking
The species that was in that last story with McGann, the Sanu Kuma, had they appeared in other stories at all?
No, first time.
No, first time.
So that means you might hear from them again if another River Song box set shows up.
Well, he sent them back to the beginning, didn't he? I mean, so they're no longer a viable threat. Didn't he put them back in time or something?
Oh yeah.
He knocked them away in the.
Yeah.
Oh, they were good though.
But they're not idiots. They know how to do stuff, so they could try to do something to get out of that predicament.
No, I like the way though that she doesn't really admit or meet the doctor in this, because she knows she's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's no Paul McGann on the phone, folks.
No. But it's like what he said, that she's not supposed to meet certain doctors. What happens if she runs into if she's not going to introduce herself as River Song? If she runs into 7, 6, 5 like that 4. The thing is, she can't even show her face to them, because they're gonna remember, and Tennant would have remembered that. That's the thing.
My question was, though, I mean, when she meets him in the Doom Coalition, chances are it's either before that or, I mean, how do you think they're going to put her into it? Because are they going to not meet again, or are they going to meet and she's just going to be very coy?
But if they're going to maintain the fact that she can't meet that particular doctor, then they're going to keep it that way as well. Then
I guess I don't think she can even meet him face. Otherwise, Tennant would have remembered her.
I know, unless if they do meet face to face in Doom Coalition 2, she's going to kiss him to make his memory erase their meeting.
That's a good point. Good point. Yeah.
It only works on Superman. That doesn't work in Doctor.
No, it works. She did that in the Husbands of River Song. One of the other guy. She said, yeah, we got married, but you started an argument, so I kissed you to erase your memory.
Okay. I forgot about that.
There's that lipstick.
That lipstick she got.
Yeah.
She's got lipstick for all occasions.
Yeah. I'm just hoping in the second box set that she gets into a nice little cat fight with Bernice Summerfield.
Oh, you like a bit of...
What I hope they do in the second box set is just tell 4 individual stories, just make it 4 separate. Then you won't run into this problem, I think, that where it's just a big 4-hour story. And I'm not saying that's a big problem. Again, I do like the set. I just think that there's a couple episodes where it drags a little bit, especially on the second listen, where it should be like, let's just move it along already. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, I can't really blame them for that, because what they're doing is very good work. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would rather just see maybe 4 separate adventures that maybe have a loose thematic connection to each other, but not necessarily a, one story.
But like you said earlier about Bernice Summerfield's Triumph of Sutak, it's not as bad as that one was. That one was very, very difficult to follow. And
no, I liked that one, but I just felt it seemed kind of padded. It's like, okay, in this episode we're in A, in episode 2 this is B, and then it's just I remember telling, I think, Graham at the time, I said this would have worked as a 2-hour story with just episode 1, 2, 3, 4, like the classic series, or like Big Finish does with the classic series, instead of a 4-hour set. But I still think it was a great set. I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just thinking sometimes I think that they focus on their marketing. This is a box set rather than just because, for example, an alternative is what we had with Strax and Jacob Lightfoot, which I think is coming next week. And look what they did with that. They just did a 2-hour show, like a 2-hour. It's not a box set. It's just a 2-hour set, two disc set, and it works for not being over long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true. I see that, especially because in the second story, it was a murder mystery. So then the first one was the Egyptian mummy, and you got into that third one, which was a little bit boring, and then the last one was the 8th Doctor. So you could have knocked that off as a little 2-hour stretch instead of the full box set.
I wouldn't have said it was boring because it is an interest. It was an effective two-hander, I would say, because you've got 2 actors involved. But I mean, I think the problem with it is like I said, we as the audience know that that's not the Doctor. He can't be the Doctor.
Yeah, that's automatic.
That. We're just waiting for her to realize that, and that means that it should have been quicker.
That's what I meant. It wasn't. I'm not saying it's a horrible story, but it would be the lowest of the 4 set stories. But since we knew what the outcome was going to happen, they stretched it out a little too long.
Do you know the fact that she was being tricked into believing that he was the Doctor, her husband? Why did she not realize that he can't be, because she doesn't recognize him from any of the the sketches she has of him?
Well, we just saw it at Christmas as well. She didn't recognize him either.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
He played her very well. He didn't even tell her till 45 minutes in. Hello, sweetie. That was brilliant.
But she also sort of realised in that third story, because he was taking little bits and pieces from different points of the Doctor's timeline, like the 500-year diary. Well, that was the second Doctor who had that.
Yeah.
So that should have been a giveaway right there. Wait a minute, you're only that young and your face is wrong.
Yeah, she should have realised that right there.
That's what I mean. That for me, I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Well, it took the clone a while, but it's like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Something's going on. It kind of reminded me in a way of Project Lazarus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to come in.
Yeah, what they did with the 6th Doctor in that one, where they took his DNA, and it turns out you find out at the end, it's not even the 6th Doctor, it's all these different clones of him that they've been growing, and like every couple of days or something like that, they got to grow into it. So it's kind of like that. I got that feel out of that one, but still, Signs was the one that kind of made me go, I could have done without this particular chapter.
The funny thing in that one, though, was when the Doctor and River are hanging over planet Unity, and they're bantering with each other over the loudspeaker while the entire planet is listening.
Yeah.
Just laugh out loud.
Here's a good question. If you could choose, who you wish will appear in her next box set? Now, I don't mean doctors, because other characters.
Like what? Like Captain Jack?
Yeah, probably. If you could do it.
I can see that now. Yeah, 2 hours of sexual innuendos.
Yeah, exactly. You think that a mile off, man.
But in whose endo?
But here's the worst part of it, though. You put those two together, who are you going to put in there to stop them both?
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
I would say this, though, for the 3% of the public, of fans that actually want to see a female Doctor, this is it right here. This is as close as you're going to get. River Song is pretty much the female Doctor. And it's an all but name, really. I mean, it's an all but name. But, I mean, this is another thing that should shut those people up that are demanding a female Doctor.
Well, when you look at it,
that's controversial.
When you look at it like that, is that a workable format in regards to how River was? If we look at her as being a female Doctor, so to speak.
Well, she here's the thing. She does what she wants. She travels the way she wants to. She goes where she wants to go. She does what she wants to do. She'll even return to prison if she's got a sentence she's dealing with. And that's how she's always been since she's been introduced as a character, which was almost 8 years ago. So I mean. She's pretty much the same character, just in a female form, I guess. I mean, and there's a lot of differences as well. She can't regenerate anymore, so you can't change the actress anytime soon, unless you're telling a story about her past or something like they did on television. But I mean, at the end of the day, she does what he does.
Yeah.
They came pretty much from almost a similar beginning, having to run from their own past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how many here have listened to the Adventures of Bernie Summerfield?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of those stories, she's basically doing a lot of the same things the Doctor does in her adventures, and she's basically center and taking care of whatever situation comes along. Well, she's kind of like except for the fact the Doctor's not a lush, but
that's in a way why I wish they would meet, in the audios, because they're both archaeologists. They could do something that they could either do a story in their own box set or something.
Both digging each other out, man. Honestly.
She time travels. She bounces planet to planet and from bed to bed. But
how does Bernie's time travel actually? Does she?
She had a time ring for a while.
Okay.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
I think it was, or it was some kind of ring she got, and I can't. Oh God, it's been a while since I've listened to it.
It was her and her husband Jason. Her and her husband Jason both had a wedding ring, and when they combined them together, they could travel to certain points in time.
So your powers combined. I am Captain Planet. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of like a time ring, but it wasn't. Is what I meant. Yeah, it wasn't like a. It was. Yeah.
I thought that was through the help of Braxiatel, because obviously he's a Time Lord and he has Time Lord capabilities. So okay, what kind?
I hate to say this, but in simplest terms, Braxiatel was a dick.
He's a warrior.
It's not a bad thing. That was his character. He was a dick. He was.
The funny thing I like is he's constantly in contact with his previous and future selves as well, which he breaks like the most basic Time Lord law.
Yeah. But okay, back to River Song.
Sorry.
All right, here's some names. How about he said Captain Jack. So should he appear in any other stories? Because it's different. Because should he appear in one of her stories, the River Song? But the thing is he's so connected with Torchwood.
That's what I mean. If she met him, it would be if she ran into Torchwood, and I'm guessing just like the Doctor, he wouldn't really like that organization very much. I mean, he just like he has disdain for UNIT. He doesn't really. I don't think he was ever that. Remember, he runs away from Captain Jack, and Jack has to hold on to the TARDIS just to go with him. I mean, so, even though it kills him. I mean, it's like I think River would probably have the same disdain.
How about Vienna?
Ooh,
that would be interesting because actually Bernice met Vienna in that Worlds of Doctor Who box. And
that's true. Yeah,
that was pretty interesting. But they ended up actually helping each other out. And there was no cat fighting or anything.
I wouldn't have minded, meeting Vienna.
Oh, God.
Hello, boys. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Graham, you're making a movie of yourself. A movie.
How about Mel Bush and Sabalon Glitz?
Ooh.
One question is, what would Gallifrey make of her?
Well, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, because wouldn't she be an abomination?
Yes.
Redheaded stepchild.
She's not redhead.
Her mother was redhead.
That means somebody in Gallifrey, maybe like Ace, might go meet her to investigate her.
Potential is a Time Lord canon date or something.
You could think where the Time Lords are not actually good guys anymore, so you could think where maybe they find out about her and find her as some kind of benefit or something for the Time War or something.
Lord, I can see that now. Lord President, yes, Commander. Temporal jism of Rory Williams in the time stream. Yeah.
The untempered jism.
Yeah.
Don't TARDISes have collection nodules that send information back to Gallifrey wherever any?
Not the Doctors. I'm sure he turned that off in the first day.
He probably disconnected that.
Oh hell yeah! I don't think his is sending anything back to Gallifrey. No.
In fact, they never caught him. He had to call them, and that's why they banished him. Yeah.
Oh, the war games.
Yeah. Okay, but back to River Song. Okay, so I hate it.
What's that?
Message queue.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like transgalactic texting. It's like Transtemporal galactic texting. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get back to River Song. We've discussed it. We've thrown it around. Let's go ahead and rate the sucker and put it to bed, shall we?
Boom.
Okay, let's start with AJ. Out of 10.
I'll give it a McGann out of 10.
An 8.
All right, Philip.
I'll give it a Sylvester out of 10.
William.
I give it a McGann out of 10.
All right, Graham.
I'll give it a John Harrow a 10. That's 8.5, no 9.
And of course, Tim.
I will give it an Eccleston out of 10. It is a nice set.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed it, but there
Oh,
were
you spoiled it.
War doctor.
yeah, because I'm sorry, but I don't want to make the poor doctor feel like a number.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go.
So, yeah, I did enjoy it, but there were parts of it that it did seem like they padded it up a little. Like I could have done entirely without the third story, to be honest with you, except for the fact you needed it to find out about the doodle bugs or whatever they were.
Yeah.
So,
Doodle bugs. Yeah.
okay, so we talked about it, we've rated, and next week we're going to sit down and have a little talk about Jago, Lightfoot, and Strax.
Yay!
And I've
Potato.
bet Strax.
Yes, and this was something I'd been hoping for a very long time, and I'm hoping they do continue to go on this path because Paternoster Row and then is right there in the same time period as Jago and Lightfoot are. And I've always been wanting to find out what would happen if these guys got together. And we got a little bit of that with that box set with Jago and Lightfoot and Strax. And it was just absolutely hilarious, especially the way they do their take on it. And I'm really looking forward to having talked about it.
Good.
I was going to say, I'd like to see also Sherlock versus Madame Vestra. That would be good.
Sherlock's a bum.
No, but the truth is that they do have a lot to play with in that time. I mean, you could also have they haven't done the Sherlock crossover with Jago and Lightfoot yet, but it seems like it could happen because they've already done it with that novelization that they did. I mean it would be that's what remains to be seen if we do get a Paternoster Gang audio series. It's just a question if they get all three in there. I mean, Starkey's always doing audios now, so he's probably always available. But you have to get the actresses in with him.
Yeah, because right now, what do you call it? Why is my brain the lady?
McIntosh.
Yeah, Neve McIntosh is she's constantly busy. I know Catherine Stewart's been doing some other things, I think, but
Yeah, soap opera or something.
yeah. So it's just a matter of getting them into the studio for a couple days sometime, and I'd really love to hear that where they get the whole gang together. But until next week, everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your time, and just think, it's only about 10 and a half or something more months till we get more Doctor Who.
Be seen.
Come here next week and reread our audio, you putrid scum.
That was good.
Good night.